Alright, real quick before we start, let me know down below if you guys would like me to make a video on how I record my audio in these videos. A few of you guys say you like how it sounds, so if that's something that interests you, let me know. It would be about, explaining my setup and the settings I use and how I achieve good levels in these videos. But alright, in today's video, we're going to be talking about color grading once again. For some reason, you guys keep asking for these videos. I guess it's something everyone wants to learn, so we're gonna do another one. Today we're specifically talking about color grading SLOG3 footage, or SLOG2, SLOG1, or C-Log, really any log exposure. SLOG3 is obviously Sony's flattest picture profile on the Sony a6300 and a few other cameras, but this strategy really works for color grading any type of flat profile, even if you're on Cine 4 or anything else. So this step-by-step technique is pretty universal, and for a lot of people, color grading S-Log footage is a bit challenging, so this video will hopefully help you guys out with that. So let's hop into Final Cut and color grade some SLOG. Once you open Final Cut, bring your clip into the timeline. Here is a clip from a video I shot for a client. This is a property listing house tour video. In this shot, we're looking at a kitchen table indoors, but in the background we have the outdoor patio, and as you can see, when you shoot an S-Log, we can see everything inside, but we also still get a decent view of all the stuff that's going on outside. So to grade this shot, I'm going to add Color Finale Pro, and the first thing you want to do is fix the exposure and the white balance. I'm going to open my controls, then open the scopes by clicking Command 7. Here we have the waveform scope in the Luma channel. We're going to start by adding a color wheels layer, and we're going to drag down the exposure of the lift or the shadows to almost 0. Next, we're going to take the exposure of the gain or the highlights and lift it to just barely touching 100, and our exposure already looks a lot better. Here is a before and here is after. Next, I want to fix the white balance a little. This shot looks a little bit cool, so I'm going to grab the gain wheel and I'm going to push it up a little bit to make it a bit warmer. And I'd say that looks pretty good. And here is what we've done so far. Now the shot still looks very bland, and that's because we haven't brought back the saturation. Now obviously this is going to be entirely your preference, but I'm going to push up the saturation as I see fit, and I think in this case I like how it looks around 1.4, and again before and after. So we're making these changes step by step, and as you're making each change you don't notice a huge difference until you look at what the shot looked like at the very start. That is when you really start to see how far you've come. You start with this very gray, dull S-Log shot, and now we have this more vibrant, properly exposed, colorful shot. Now you can leave it here and you have a very natural looking image, but I know a lot of you like to add looks to your shot and make it look more unique. This is where you can start using the vectors and the curves. I think that the yellow under these cabinets here is a little greenish looking, so I might go into the yellow channel and play with the hue and push it a little bit more towards an orangish hue, and then maybe take the reds and bring it back just a little bit in the red channel. And I think that looks a little bit better if we turn it off and on here. Next, I want to add a curves layer, and this is where I'm going to make my S curve. And then I'm going to drag the bottom of the S curve up just a little bit so that the shadows aren't a complete black. I'm liking how this is looking, but I find that it is still looking a little bit off to me. I think it's maybe because the inside looks a little underexposed. So what I'm going to do is go back into our color wheels, and I'm going to bump up my midtones slightly. And then I'm going to bring down my shadows a bit more. Now I think that's looking a lot better. From here I might throw in a little bit more saturation. So one more thing I could maybe do here is looking at the light spilling in from this window. I think that it would look nice if we added some color contrast and maybe threw in some blue tones. I'll add another curves layer so we can see the before and after. And I'm going to grab the top of the blue curve and I'm going to drag it to the left to start adding some blues into the highlights. Now I'm going to make another point here and drag it down. And here is the before and after of that. So now we have these nice blue tones going on in the highlights. I think that makes the clip look a lot more balanced. You get this nice color contrast from the yellow under here to the blues outside. So I'm going to close this and I'm going to turn off the grade. This is what we started with and this is what we have now. As you can see, it's a pretty drastic difference. We've maintained most of the detail that is going on outside the window. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit blown out because we're indoors. Even SLOG can't make it perfect, but I think what we have looks really good. And what you can actually do in Final Cut is save the effects preset. I'm going to call this SLOG underscore grade 1. I'm going to save that. And I can grab another clip, so let's say this one over here. I can go into my effects, I can just click and drag the grade onto here. Obviously with each clip you'll want to make some minor adjustments, so with this I think I would probably want to pull down these midtones just a touch and maybe bring up the shadows a little bit. And I think that looks pretty good. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you found it helpful, please hit it with a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment down below of what videos you guys would like to see. For example, if you want to see a video about my audio setup, let me know, or anything else you guys want to see. But stay tuned for the next one, and until next time, peace!